Hey, what's up everyone? Got another Great League battle video today featuring Dunsparce, Alolan Marowak, and Venusaur. Marowak is shiny, or shadow. Dunsparce is shiny. So start off with Bastion lead, farm up a bunch of energy. I wasn't 100% sure how much damage either the flamethrower or Stone Edge would do, so I figured I'd let it go and just see. At this point, Dunsparce has gotten so much energy, I've managed to get both shields and over half their health. I chose to switch in Venusaur here, just to not get farmed down. I gave up the one shield. Frenzy Plant takes it out. Now I've got a good amount of energy, get to the Sludge Bomb. That almost one-shots the Victory Bell. I shield this up. Just Leaf Blade. I thought it might have been Acid Spray. Then I go back in with my Dunsparce and get farmed down. We simultaneously go down. Gyarados comes in, get off the Frenzy Plant, and that's a good game. This team I put together, strictly I went to pvpoke and went below 100 rankings. So all three of these Pokemon on pvpoke for the Open Great League are ranked below 100. So I wanted to put together a team and see how I could do in the Open Great League against some of the top metas. And to my surprise, I actually went 4-1 and then 3-2 while making this video. So 7-3 against the full meta. So I'm pretty happy with that. There I get taken out by another Bastion. Come back in with my Dunsparce. I'm gonna let the flamethrower go through. They don't have a shield, so this Drill Run should be taking out the Bastion. Vine Whip down the Trevenant, and then I've got a Sludge Bomb loaded for their Clefable. Almost one-shots again. Massive damage. Dunsparce into Raichu, Alolan Raichu. A little bit of weak connection there. Let the Wild Charge go through. I bring in a Azumarill. I bring in my Venusaur to shield up this. Thinking the Ice Beam's going to do quite a bit. Fire off the Frenzy Plant. They shield, and I've got a second one already. Fire that off. They shield it up. Shield up the next Ice Beam. Frenzy Plant. Takes out the Azumarill. In the back they've got an Altaria. I switch back to my Dunsparce. Get off Rock Slide. Already had another Rock Slide. That Rock Slide almost takes out the Altaria. And then they fire off a Sky Attack. Takes out my Dunsparce. I bring in a Alolan Marowak to get some energy. They catch on their Alolan Raichu, which I one-shot with Shadow Bone, and farm down the Altaria. Good game to my opponent. Dunsparce into Obstagoon. This is a terrible lead. I wasn't really sure which one to go to, because Alolan Marowak isn't going to do all that good against it. But if I bring in my Venusaur, which I chose to do, then obviously they're going to switch out, and now I'm kind of stuck because I don't have a good answer for the Obstagoon. So I shield up the Dark Pulse there. Fire off a Bone Club. The Bone Club does a good amount of damage, and I'm not quite able to farm them down. They get to another Dark Pulse, so I shield that up. I have almost 2 Shadow Bones, so I fire off the first one, gets the shield. Now there's nothing I can do. I wanted to try to switch out there, but I just couldn't. I think I was not quite unlocked yet. Fire off a Drill Run. It does a good chunk, but not quite enough. I wouldn't be able to farm down or anything. And just as I tap the Drill Run there, I get taken out, so that's a good game to my opponent. Dunsparce into Crobat. Good lead for me. The funny thing is I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, hey, they'll Poison Fang me because Shadow Ball does nothing. They Shadow Balled. So I shielded this Poison Fang just simply to save some health. And then they bring in a Machamp, take a Rock Slide, almost takes out my Marowak, fire off the Bone Club, bring in a Venusaur to farm down the Machamp, and a shield Cross Chop, of course. They bring in their Frostlass, Sludge Bomb gets the shield, and then I quickly switch back into my Dunsparce, and I have almost 2 Rock Slides, so I'm able to fire off the first one, gets shield, the second one does most of the damage, and I'm able to reach a Frenzy Plant, and that should take out the Frostlass. And then they bring back in their Crobat, and I Vine Whip down. So that was a good 4-1 set for me. Into the next set of battles here, Dunsparce into Venusaur, and the previous one of the other battles I was against Venusaur, so I knew the Frenzy Plant did about half health, so I let it go, choosing to save shields. Fire off a Drill Run, gets shield. I switch into my Marowak to try to get ahead on some energy and do some damage with the Fire Spin. They bring in Swampert, shield that up, fire off a Shadow Bone, does a good chunk. I'm letting this next Hydro Cannon go. I bring in my Venusaur and Vine Whip their Swampert down, and they bring in Walrein, fire off Frenzy Plant. Decide to shield up the first Icicle Spear here, and then they go and catch my Frenzy Plant onto their own Venusaur. So I return the favor and I catch on my Dunsparce, and then come back in and Vine Whip down, and hit the Walrein with another Frenzy Plant. Some really good catches there. Well played to my opponent. That was a lot of fun. Next battle, Jigglypuff lead. Dunsparce fires off the Drill Run. No shield. Already did another Drill Run. They don't shield it again. So I'm like, okay, well, what are they weak to in the back? Are they super weak to Dunsparce in the back? Or do they just not know for sure what to do with it? So I opted to switch into my Venusaur. They bring out an Umbreon, shield up a Psychic, add another Frenzy Plant here. They shield that one. Farming up here, shield up Foul Play, fire up Frenzy Plant. Should be taking out the Umbreon or getting the last shield. Get the last shield. They bring Jigglypuff back in, fire off Rock Slide, and then they got Nidoqueen in the back. I'm like, okay, Drill Run's gonna be really good, does half health, but now what do I do? Now I'm weak to Nidoqueen with Venusaur, and I'm weak to Earth Power to Marowak, like you saw there. So that's I think possibly a misplay on my part for that game. Good game to my opponent though, well played. Metacham into my Dunsparce there, switch out right away. I chose to bring in my Marowak, and they for some reason brought in a Deoxys, so I fire off Shadow Bone. Shield that, thinking it was going to be Rock Slide, and they Cycle Boost me, so I no shield the second Cycle Boost. Farm them down. They bring in Medicham again, fire off a Shadow Bone, and they shield that. Add another Shadow Bone, so I'll fire this off, gets their last shield, and I think, yeah, I shield up the Psychic, and I get to another Shadow Bone. I believe this takes out the Medicham, and in the back they've got a Venusaur. So I'm able to get to last second Bone Club to get a little bit of chip, and then knowing that I can survive any one move, I decide to go into my Dunsparce, take the move, build up to the Rock Slide, and that's a good game. Well played to my opponent there. Dunsparce into Venusaur, good lead for me. I can take whatever first move they throw. Frenzy Plant, I fire off Rock Slide, they no shield that as well. I get to another Rock Slide. I think this will force a shield. They no shield that, so I aggressive swap into my Marowak, and they bring out a Azumarill.
I fire off a Shadow Bone, get the defense drop, and I believe I let this go. Let's play rough, get to another Shadow Bone, fire that off, they shield that, and now they're going to be able to farm me down. Bring in my Venusaur, shield up what should be an Ice Beam, and then I think, yeah, I farm down there. They bring back in their Venusaur, I let that go, and then they have a Milk Tank. So I fire off Frenzy Plant, does about half health, add the next Frenzy Plant, fire this one off, and they shield that up. Now they have no shield, so I block this Body Slam, and I believe, yeah, I'm at another Frenzy Plant already, so that should be taking out the Milk Tank. And I think that they might have rage quit there, because there was some lag, and then they threw in their Venusaur and I Vine Whip down there. Now this one, I'm sure I misplayed this. Build up to the Drill Run, they catch it on Skarmory. So now I go for a Rock Slide. Great catch by my opponent. They must have known that I had Drill Run with the Dunsparce. Shield up Brave Bird, throw a Rock Slide. I think they let this one go. And then bring in Swampert, so I switch into my Venusaur, take the Hydro Cannon, throw the Sludge Bomb, but they've got 2 shields still. And I'm not sure, I think they shielded that, and then I shielded the Overheat. Yeah, they did block it. The game, I noticed, was a bit glitchy today. Anyways, they overheat me. I get to the next Drill Run here, and that does a lot of damage. Switch in my Marowak, they sludge, but I have no shields, and they reach a Hydro Cannon, take out my Marowak, and at this point there's not really anything I can do. They're at another Hydro Cannon. Thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed the video. Leave a like, subscribe, leave a comment. See you in the next one.